answers.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, hey, let's continue from where we were, because this is a long sworn statement, man.
Okay.
This is one of the longer ones.
Yeah.
Should have been, obviously.
Yeah.
But what he says is really interesting. I mean, where we left off was basically he's in the hallway, and shots were fired, and he basically was saying, "Hey, I'm going to wait. I'm thinking to myself, I just thought, wait for him to reload." He's in front of 117.
Right.
And he says, I'm just going to wait for him to reload. I was thinking if I could get somebody, probably Jesus. I wanted to, is what he says. I didn't know if I could walk or not. I didn't know if he could walk or not. So he's seeing Campos.
Right.
Right,
down the hall, right? Supposedly, right? Yeah.
And
so
Campos,
is this going to be a separate video?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to recap.
All of these are separate. I mean, this thing could probably like yesterday's, right? Was an hour and a half, man.
I know.
I'm going to have to split that up into like 4 different videos.
Ah, okay.
So it just continues, man.
Okay.
But it's all that string. It's probably like string 16. 16
right.
is all Shuck, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
So I'm doing those videos, and we can describe it here. I mean, those videos that everybody's seeing, basically what I'm doing is this series is under a certain number, and then we do this interview on Shuck's sworn statement. So this whole series is on Shuck. So as you go through the YouTube, our YouTube is every number is a series. Like Campos has his own series, right?
Right.
Sottile has his own series. Allsbury will have his own series. So Shuck will have his own series, and because the interviewing that we're doing right here is so lengthy, I have to cut it up into pieces, and those pieces are in alphabetical order.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only way to do it, because it's just, especially when I start putting in all the videos that support everything that we're talking about, it just makes it about every 15 minutes is about an hour worth of video. So
So in saying, you were saying the beginning of Shuck here a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
The bottom line is this thing happened on October 1st, and he was not interviewed until October 6th.
Yes.
Okay. And so Campos was interviewed. His first sworn statement was on October 2nd in the morning, about 2:30 in the morning, right after this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he claimed that he went to the emergency room and came back for this. Okay.
Yeah.
And so in this, we've kind of struggled with a lot of these sworn statements, because these sworn statements, the questions that these officers are asking, they leave out a lot of unknowns, and the people inside these things and where they're located at kind of comes into question. So Shuck is no different. Shuck, again, it was October 6th, and you have Paddock, which is deceased. He was the one, up there. You have the next 2 people that supposedly know what happened up there before anybody else is Campos, and he was interviewed at 2:30, and then several days later. But Shuck, his name has never been mentioned.
Right.
In any of these sworn statements we've done. He didn't even get interviewed until the 6th, which is very odd. In this, you have about 5 people that are in this interview room, and it's done on the 32nd floor.
Right.
Okay. So go ahead, man. So
yeah. So basically, right now he's in front of room 117, and which is interesting that he's actually okay, so shots came down. He went face first, remember?
Right.
So to 117. Well, it's interesting the way room 117 is positioned because it's, the two doors are next to each other, right?
Right.
And it's 117 and 119. But what's kind of interesting is if shots were coming down the hallway, he would have probably have been next to 119 because that's where the alcove comes out.
The cover is.
Yeah. He's actually not covered if he's on 117.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows. I'll show that
right.
one. But so anyway, he's face first.
Right.
Then he turns around, gets his key fob, right? And then turned around, grabbed the key fob because he's got master keys.
Right.
Which comes in, which is very
And he's an apprentice engineer.
He's an apprentice engineer.
Okay.
So he tries to open the door behind him, which is 117.
Right.
And he said the guest had the deadbolt locked. The problem is as we go, is if you look at our prior videos of room clearing, when the cops use a master key on room 117, they can open it.
Central, please. Hold the door. I got it. Hold that. Hold on. I got this. Move up. Cover.
Right. And everything is logged. So you have, we already know that from the lock interrogation videos. So everything has a timestamp on it. So, so at what point are we at right now with that?
Yeah. So we're right there where he tries it. We should see an error. It's a master key. He says there's a deadbolt. There was no deadbolt when they did the room clearing.
Yeah.
They opened the door easily. So we don't know where we kind of left off was we don't know who locked all the doors during this period of time. Right? Because the nanny said they were locked. He's now trying to open it and it's locked.
And it's locked.
So we need to verify, was it locked or not? Right?
Right.
When was it locked? Whatever. So, but we should at least have his timestamp on 117.
Yeah.
Knowing that in the video of clearing this hallway, that room opened.
Right. Right.
Why didn't it open when he?
Yeah. Seems like someone locked down that floor basically, and then reopened it. That's what it seemed like.
Well, if it was deadbolted from the inside, somebody had to be on the inside.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, common sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we go back to the video, the question is, was anybody inside?
Right. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to watch that video.
Central, please. Hold the door. I got it. Hold that. Hold on. I got this. Move up. Cover those doors. Cover those doors behind you, bro. That door. There you go. Move up. Okay, there you go.
Remember, you guys are precision. I'm just
Remember,
going to
these
open
doors
up
don't
if
have
you
no
come
cover.
out. You're right. I got you right. Okay.
Down now. Down now. All the way down. All the way down. Okay. You got to go straight across. Reach up. Reach up. Coming across. Go along with me.
All right. So he goes, okay, so deadbolted, whatever. Because if he's coming down the hallway, maybe it's best if I don't go in that room, is what he's thinking to himself. All right, we're recapping here.
Okay.
So he tries it doesn't open, and he's like rationalizing, oh, well, if he's coming down the hall, maybe it's okay. He says, so then I don't want to be trapped. So I yelled over the radio. Shots fired, shots fired. Radio, shots fired, shots fired. Now, I don't know what radio. He probably has a handheld radio. I don't know.
Right.
So shots fired, shots fired. Shannon, my supervisor, had said he was on the way over the radio, but he knew before he knew anything was happening. All right. I said, shots fired, get the police. Do not come down 100 hallway. Now, we've got that on audio.
Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway. Copy. Hey, I'm on 32.
secured as we speak.
Steven, make sure you're out of the way. Copy.
Raise to 106 Steven. Security wants to know if you know a room.
It's at the end of the hallway. I can't tell you what room. He looked like he fired down the hallway when I got close to the door.
Copy, so it's down to 100 the hallway, correct?
Security's up here. Where you at? 100 hallway. Don't go.
Which is spooky calm. Let's put it there.
Yeah.
So anyway, his statement says right now, he's shooting down the hallway, period.
Okay.
All right. Do not come down the hallway. Now, that's the whole statement. He's shooting down the hallway. Do not come down the hallway. And then at that time, I just thought, wait for him to reload. And I was thinking that I could get to Jesus, right? He sees Jesus. He's telling us he was bleeding.
Right.
Depending on the way Jesus was standing, there's no way he would have seen the bleeding. But
Right.
he says he saw the bleeding. And he goes, I had seen that he was shot in the leg. He was about 2 to 3 doors ahead of me, which he was only one alcove ahead of him.
Right.
Or he was across the hall from him.
Right.
Depending on which statement you believe. He was actually in 3 different places. He was in 2 different places based on his first and second sworn statement, Jesus.
Right.
And then a 3rd place based on the final report.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he was, okay? But anyway, he says, I thought, maybe it's too risky, and in my head, to cross the hallway and get closer. So I waited. Dude, if you ever did this to me, I'd kill you, all right? So I waited. As soon as the round stopped, I started to take off down the hallway.
The opposite direction?
Yeah. I was keeping close to the wall. I see Jesus. He's bleeding. I can't get in the door. When that guy reloads, I'm out of here, man.
I'm out.
You're on your own, Jesus. You're on your own, buddy.
Now, up until this point, you're thinking he's John Wayne in it, okay? And this is kind of weird, too, because you got a couple weird things, okay, from just, hearing enough people in an emergency situation that the radio traffic is eerily calm, okay, for someone that's not used to this. Because even people that are used to this, if you look at the actions of these police officers, it's like, hey, there's shooting up here, and here's some guy that's an apprentice engineer that is very calm, but there's some questions regarding the legitimacy of this video or of this voice recording. Okay,
Yeah.
and so and then he says, I think I can go across the hallway and get to him because he's bleeding. And then in the same second sentence there, he's saying, I'm beating feet down the hall whenever this thing stops. Okay, you just contradicted yourself here, man.
Yeah.
So
these 2 guys, I don't think were in any danger at all. And
Right.
they had statements to make over the phone. So,
well, this was done the 6th,
yeah.
And
He says, so let's continue. He says, so I kept close to the wall. In my head, I just thought, and all right, now he's had time to reload. And then as soon as I thought that, I jumped in front of another door. Did you know he jumped in front of another door? No.
what door?
No one ever said he jumped in front of another door. Well, I don't know what other door. I mean, there's only a couple, areas that he could have jumped into. So he says, I jumped in front of another door, and another volley came down.
Okay, so he's saying that a second volley.
A second volley.
No one has yet to say that.
No, and actually, what's interesting, because he says, and another volley
Right.
of fire came out. There's only between, like we said, 32 to 35 bullet holes
Right.
through the door. And in the final report, it actually says 32 bullets came out of the non-movable door of 135, and
Right.
2 were right above the lock of the movable door.
Right. But see, Campos had already been shot. That was
we don't. No. We can't even get into that because none of this makes sense.
right.
And so, and I think the reason why it doesn't make sense is because they were not in the location of their sworn statement, right?
Right.
They're trying to create a sworn statement,
Right.
having never been in the location that they're telling us they were in.
Yeah. True.
Okay? So,
And there again, who says volley? Okay, I'm just saying that's got to be something that he. I mean, you never hear people say, "I just was shot at, man." That's what you hear,
right?
Okay, I was shot by a lot of rounds, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know? Or bullets or ammunition or something. Not volley. I don't know if I've really heard anyone say volley in the 20-some years being through the city.
Not when you're getting shot at by an automatic weapon.
No.
A volley implies
Rambo didn't even say volley.
A volley implies that you're shooting in the air, just like the shots being fired out of 32, out of room 134 and 30.
Right.
I mean, they weren't aimed at any one person. They were just, it was a volley.
Right.
You know, wherever the bullets land, man.
Right.
So, so it's interesting that they use the word volley. So
Right.
I think.
Put a bullet point on that one.
So anyway, so he says, but I couldn't. He says another volley of fire came out. I couldn't tell. It was so loud, and the echoes and the reverberation of the walls or off the walls. I couldn't tell if he was shooting down the hallway again or back outside. Dude, I'm going to tell you. I think you can tell if somebody's shooting an automatic, rifle
At you in a
3-foot
hallway. Yeah.
So he says I couldn't
a
tell
4-foot hallway or whatever.
I couldn't tell if he was shooting down the hallway again or back outside. Stupid. And at this time, all right. At
this point in time, that phrase has been in a lot of these.
It has, especially Campos's.
God.
And at this time, it clicked in my mind. I'm glad something freaking clicked in your mind, because I'd been working in the Mandalay Bay Tower the whole weekend. And he says, I knew that show was going on. Uh-huh. It clicked in my mind like he's shooting at those people. I know exactly where that room points. Yeah, there's a million rooms in the Mandalay Bay that point to the.
If anyone's ever been there, yeah.
So anyway, he goes, I waited for him to stop again. All right, confirming he has been witness of 2 volleys.
Right. He's the only one that's ever been witness to 2 volleys.
Down the hallway.
Right, down the hallway.
So I waited for him to stop again. And me and blank, I'm assuming it's Jesus, started to run out of the hallway.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I'm catching
good.
it.
It's good.
This is very good right here.
He says, I don't know exactly where he was, and I'm assuming he's referring to Jesus. If he was trying to leave behind me or further back, and another security guard started to enter the 100 hallway. Who's that?
Well, that's his supervisor.
Or the bike guy.
Yeah, his supervisor or the bike guy that got off the elevator. Sottile. Sottle's the supervisor, right?
Sottile, something like that?
Sottile.
Yeah. And then, Sottile is the security supervisor.
Right.
And then the bike guy, was down there too. So anyway, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I remember it's 6 days later.
Right. And neither one of them mentioned Shuck at all.
No.
We've already been through them.
Yep.
Neither one of them mentioned him.
No. Paul says, we got up to the floor, myself and blacked out.
Right.
They did a good job blacking that one out.
Darn it.
No, got up there. We saw blank
Okay.
down the hallway.
All right.
That was good.
Yeah.
He had what appeared to be a gunshot wound to his calf. So we know this was Campos they're talking about.
Okay.
It looked like a BB gun. It looked like a BB. So I'm guessing it was just a fragment. I mean, my supervisor, the security operations manager, blacked out. We know
Right.
it's Anthony.
Right.
Sottile was up there at the time.
Okay.
So Paul says, no, I didn't see him. Cop says, you only saw blacked out. Paul says, yes. All right. I mean, these are the first guys on the scene.
Exactly.
So, so cop says, blank coming down the hallway. Paul says, yes. I mean, they're talking Jesus Campos only.
Right. Right.
Cop says, so you guys were standing like in the center core right here. Miguel says, so my coworker, Paul, stayed right here. What was the call center? The call center core.
Okay.
So Paul did stay there.
Yeah.
Right? So Paul did stay there. My manager, he came up where the ice machine is, where they first cut out, and he was taking cover behind that drywall.
Okay.
That's Anthony.
Right.
I went a little bit further. Of course you did, because you're a brave, armed bicycle guy with a yellow bright
shirt.
I mean, the guy is fearless.
Right. Right. These two guys actually are really good.
They are. I mean, I'm like, good on you, buddy. I mean, that's hardcore.
They really are.
Holy smokes, man. Some people move forward, some people go backwards. These guys are like, I'm in it.
Yep.
So I went a little bit further to the next set of doors. That's exactly what the video shows.
Okay.
Was on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just kind of listening to what was going on down the hallway. And blank, it's all blacked out, was still down somewhere down there. And he was ducked into one of the little cutouts, I'm assuming. And blank was still down somewhere down there. I'm not sure, what door. He was ducked into one of the little cutouts. So somebody was down there.
Yeah. Huh.
And so we were listening to the guy shoot out the window, or, he goes, or shoot
somewhere.
Shoot in his room.
Right.
And so this guy's clarifying. I don't know if he was shooting out the window or in his room at the time.
Right.
He's either, it's either something.
Right.
He's shooting.
Right.
There's pauses between the bursts. So he's hearing all of this stuff. In between pauses, blank ran towards us. And it's blacked out except for the last letter, which is S.
That has to be Campos.
Ran towards us, and he was going awfully fast for somebody that got hit with a pellet gun.
Ah, see.
Okay. We're looking at timelines because there are no times associated with this.
Right.
So, but he's been truthful so far, so yeah.
Yeah.
But he was running. He ran during the pause. They saw him in the alcove.
Right.
This paragraph here, I want everybody to remember.
Yes.
This is a key paragraph by a truthful security officer, right? So he sees Campos in the alcove. So his Anthony is there. A little bit further on the right is Miguel. Miguel sees Campos in the alcove,
Right.
supposedly. During one of the pauses, in between pauses, somebody who we are assuming is Campos, because
Right.
they forget to black out the last letter. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Blacked out guy. Ran towards us. And he was going awfully fast for somebody who just got hit with a pellet gun. So anyway,
Zero.
I don't know exactly where he was, Jesus. If he was trying to leave behind me or further back, another security guy. I mean, basically, Shuck is saying, I just ran and left my buddy.
Right.
All right? He should have been fired after that.
Yeah.
So another security guard started to enter 100 hallway. It was suited security guard who carries a sidearm.
A suited security guard. Okay.
So maybe that's Sottile. The suit? I don't know.
I would have thought a police uniform.
Right.
But maybe it was Sottile.
Okay.
Yeah.
He says, I yelled at him.
Okay. And listen, hey, now his sworn statement was very good.
Oh, he was good.
And we both agree that guy should be promoted and hired. You know, you could tell his stuff was, you can just tell by his statement. It was true. And never mentioned him talking to him.
No, so Shuck is running down the hallway. He sees a suited security officer
Right.
come in. He yells at him.
Right.
I'm assuming as he's running, get out of the hallway! Get out of the hallway!
Fastest runner lives. Okay. All right.
Pathetic. Sottile has no idea that he was ever yelled at to get out of the hallway.
No idea.
So anyway.
None. Yeah.
He says, we all went into the center core.
Yeah, he's not on the video. They messed up because they didn't put him in the video.
Now, the cops didn't even know about him until like the Thursday after.
Right.
Remember? Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the deputy has no idea. They just found out.
And so we thought we had a relatively good picture until just a couple of days ago that we found out there was also a maintenance man that had come up to check the door or the stairwell that the security officer had reported as being barricaded.
And we have video.
Oh, yeah.
You got video up there. So yeah.
So this sworn statement's really, really bad, right? It's incriminating, actually. So he says,
Yes.
we all went into the center core. And that time, we just had to sit there and listen. We couldn't do anything. I knew we just had to sit there and listen to him shoot. So he's in the center core. The guy's still shooting. This probably went on for 2 to 3 minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, really, that is a long time. And as soon as the police started to show up, some police came into the center core. All right. We got the video. That's Beeson and Featherstone.
Right.
I can't. These names, I need to write them all down. These were those two awesome cops.
Right.
I mean, they deserve a promotion. Those two cops right there, not only did they just went to danger, they were the first on the scene.
They don't know what they're going into, and they were ready to make a move.
I mean, they were ready to go into the room.
Yeah.
I mean, good on them. I'd love to work with those guys. I mean, they are the ones who deserve freaking medals.
Right.
Those two guys went in. They stayed the whole time. I mean, it was really good. So anyway, he says, so some police came into the center core. Had to have been them two. They were the first two cops there.
And the video shows it.
We told them and it says blank is up here. up there. You know, he says, we told them, comma, somebody, it's blacked out, is up there. I don't know what that means. I said, hey, I told him, like, hey, don't put pressure on it. It was bleeding, so I'm assuming it's Jesus. So let's go back. We told them Jesus is up there. I said, hey, to Jesus, I'm assuming. I told him, like, hey, don't put pressure on it. It wasn't bleeding. Okay, well, this is weird because Jesus' statement said that he had a gauze and everything else strapped to it, and he's put
Exactly.
All right. He says, I was going to use my belt as a tourniquet. Okay, hold on. It's not bleeding, dude. You don't want to put pressure on it, and it's not bleeding, but you were gonna use your belt. I'm glad you didn't, because his leg wouldn't even be here, right? I mean, holy smokes! I was gonna use my belt as a tourniquet.
Where did the engineer graduate from engineering school at?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
He fixes water leaks with a screwdriver,
With a drill,
and
because he had it with him.
and he fixes paper cuts with a tourniquet. All right. I mean,
BB shots, BB dents. Yeah.
we don't even know what was in his leg.
No.
We're assuming
If anything,
what he said. Yeah.
If
right.
anything, I mean, hey, watch the videos. We're not making this up.
I think
We're not making this up.
I think he just backed into something sharp, like the edge of a bed or something, and it hit his.
Right.
He had to explain it away, but anyway. So he says, I was going to use my belt as a tourniquet, but as soon as I was about to do that,
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.